Yes, I use social media, mainly Twitter. I think it's really hard to get general public engagement on Twitter for researchers. So what I mostly use it for is engaging with other researchers and academics. It's a really good icebreaker for when you finally meet them in person at a conference. You can spread your research a lot more widely in people who would actually want to read it. And you can stay in touch with people, and I think it does help in fostering collaborations down the track and finding people who might be future collaborators.
Yes, I'm a little bit late to the party on this one. I've only recently, probably about a year and a half ago, joined Twitter, and I have definitely found that Twitter is an excellent way to disseminate research. I don't do any other social media. I'm a bit anti-social media in some ways, but I think Twitter is a very good method for promoting research. It certainly seems to help generate interest and getting it out there. And I would typically tweet with the access to the journal and maybe a quick summary of what it was and maybe a picture or something that helped to draw attention to that, and also ask my colleagues or my co-authors to do the same. And I haven't been doing it long enough to really know what effect that has, but I'm aware of some evidence to suggest that Twitter in particular is a really good way for disseminating.
Yes, so social media is fantastic for us to promote our work, whether it's through Twitter or LinkedIn, which is more for business and management audiences, although many other fields do use LinkedIn. But for me personally, LinkedIn is where I spend most of my time to disseminate our research findings, but also as a tool to help reach and connect with other people that could be potential funders of our research, or even national collaborators for research.
So my favored channel for promoting my research is Twitter. There's a really large, active academic Twitter community, and there are some excellent early modernists, a lot of excellent early modernists who I can reach very easily via Twitter. So I use it a lot when I'm, active publishing. I think I use it most of all when I'm doing archival research, because I love doing those kind of quick archival hot takes of like, look at this crazy poem I found, it's amazing, which kind of like lets people know what I'm working on long before there's anything real to like show for it, and also for just the weird things that are interesting. I mean, I'm working with stuff that's 400 years old. Like some of it's just alien, and I'll never be able to do anything substantive with it, but it's cool, and we should put it out there.
So I do use social media, and I use social media quite a lot. I don't use it so much to promote my own research, although I do occasionally, but I see social media more as an opportunity to promote researchers and to promote our disciplines and our fields. So for me, social media is very important for helping people understand what it is that researchers do and what it is that research does, and the difference between the findings of a single study and the entire body of evidence. So I use social media very much to help reach people with that kind of information and that kind of education. I do, when I publish a paper, I will share that paper. But I guess when I'm on social media, I'm mindful of the fact that I have multiple target audiences. So some people who follow me on social media will follow me for my subject matter expertise. And just having the link to the paper and, yay, I've published, I'm very happy, will be enough for them to go on and read the paper, or at least the abstract, and understand my contribution. Other people who are following me on social media are normal, everyday, non-scientific people. And so for those people, you need to have more of a lay, abstracted description of what your research is and what it means for the everyday, or how it fits into the scientific process. And that's really important too for reaching the editors and the producers, the people who might want to take your paper and turn it into a news story, or put it on the radio, or invite you to write a conversation article or something like that. So big picture, social media is more than just self-promotion. It's about connecting with the audiences that we want to value our work as researchers.
So I've been using social media more recently, and I think it's just something that we do need to do as academics. It does broaden your impact. It really gets it out there in terms of what you're doing and what you're working on. It does increase, I think, citations and readership of your papers and the work that you're doing. So I use Twitter primarily for upcoming papers. I'll say things like a paper's just been accepted, keep an eye out here, and then when the paper does get published, an announcement about the paper. Also just various things that I'm working on from a research perspective, I'll put little tweets out about that. I think that really does help build that opportunity for collaborations as well, because people will see what you're doing and get excited about what you're working on. I also use LinkedIn as my second platform and that's good because you can do longer posts on LinkedIn. So Twitter's very short, sharp, just, a very key message. LinkedIn, you can get a little bit more detail. You can actually highlight some past papers or some new results. And I do use that, again, to get that message out to the broader community and industry, not just the academic community, which tends to be the main people that I reach on Twitter, is more around that academic side, whereas LinkedIn, New South Wales Government and all people like that are the end users of my research. That's a really good place to connect with them.
So yes, I do use social media to promote the research, my research, and my team's research, and my colleagues' research as well. I think that is a really important strategy. Twitter in particular in scientific communities, and I think gives us a platform that is very useful for sharing our research, and so I think it's really important. So when you publish a paper, always think about what is the short Twitter message you would want to have to let colleagues know about this article that's come out. Does it align? Can you use a particular hashtag to align the work with a particular conversation? For example, if you use hashtag nursing and the paper is about a nursing topic, then anybody in Twitter who searches a hashtag nursing, your article will pop up in it. And so you might invite interest from other nurses who are interested in nursing topics, for example. So think about keyword kind of hashtags that will communicate your article to a community of interest that would be end users of the research, or who might be interested to use that work in their own research going forward, that might be interested to cite it, which would be very good for you. So I think it gives us a really great opportunity. One of the things that you can do is some journals actually ask you to, if you would like to include your Twitter handle, and they will then, once the article is published, they will tweet the article. And they will sometimes use your handle as well. So that is a great way of communicating, I've got a new article out, you might be interested in it, it's about an important topic. There might be some international kind of days that you can align your work with. I do some research work with refugees, and a couple of days ago it was World Refugee Day. So that's a great opportunity to align your work to an international day so that it can get picked up in an international discussion about that topic.